Welcome to the Be Real Podcast. We're outgrowing, giving ourselves grace, giving ourselves gratitude, because this healing shit is not for the motherfucking weak. At first, I wasn't gonna cuss y'all because this episode is about my grandmother, but my grandmother will also want me to be myself. So I'm gonna be me. She knew how I was, so I'm not gonna switch the script. She loved me as I was, even though she knew I had some improvements about me. I have my cousin here with me today.
Hello.
Y'all getting a little deeper look into my family. This is my older cousin. And today's episode is in honor of my grandmother, our grandmother. It's coming up on 2 years where she's been without us. And so I want to honor her because she was a big part of my life, still is, and she's a part of my journey. So we always start off with a game. We gonna guess the song. So I know you know some gospel songs, but you gotta finish the song.
I gotta finish the song.
Yeah, but
okay.
you gonna do one and I'm gonna do. We can do a couple. You do it and I do a couple.
Oh, so I have to give you a song. To
Yeah. No,
oh my goodness. Okay.
You gotta think.
I gotta think for this one. Okay.
Okay. We used to be in church though. We used to be in a choir. Remember?
Yes, I do. With Aunt Mabel, she'd be like, "Get up here."
What was you, soprano or alto?
Ooh, girl, probably alto.
I think I was
this voice
alto.
is deep. Okay.
I remember we was young though. We had squeaky voices. I feel like I went back and forth.
No, I think I had a deep voice since the beginning.
But you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go first. What's that? My God is an awesome God, it rains.
From heaven above with wisdom, power, and love, our God is an awesome God. Hey! Don't make fun of my singing skills, though, okay?
Do not. We is not professional. Okay, what's another one? You got one?
Shoot, let me think. Because I need to get this on my head.
Don't bring out no hip hop rap.
My gospel rap, because I'm sure about to hit the mic. No, there's one. You want me to sing it or can I speak it?
Just do it in your voice. Sing it. Sing it.
For a saint is just a sinner who fell
down. Is that what it is?
And got up.
I don't
Say, we fall down.
Oh, yeah. And we get up. We fall down. And we get up. I don't remember. What do you know grandmother type of song?
Ooh, no, because she like clapping.
What's another? It's gonna be a brighter day, brighter day, brighter day, brighter day, brighter day, brighter day. This is one of our, I think that was one of ours we sung in the choir.
Yes, it was.
What more? What's an old one? Because we used to go to an old church.
Ooh. I don't even know. Oh, order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Lead me, guide me every day. With your anointing, Father, I pray. Order my steps in your word. See how to switch it up.
Order my steps
in your word.
Hey, you can tell which one really was be in church.
Yes, we did. It used to be in church. See?
Okay, that was fun. That was fun.
That was a good opener.
We got some. We was raised right. We was raised up at the church.
We sure was.
We was. But my grandmother, she always went to church. She did not play about God.
Nope.
That's one thing she did not play about. But I feel like I talked about my grandmother briefly, so we just gonna give a backstory. So when was it? 2021? Yeah.
Yes, 2021.
2021. I think she went to the doctor. She thought it was acid reflux. Ended up. I think did she get admitted? She got admitted.
Yeah, she got admitted to the hospital. She got admitted
to the hospital, and I actually didn't have a job during that time, so I spent a lot of time at the hospital because I didn't have nothing but time. And of course, I wanted to be with my grandmother. Our family is really supportive, so it was kind of like somebody had to be at the hospital with her because we didn't want her there by herself, and everybody was working during that time. But she got admitted to the hospital. I think they had ran some tests, said it was cancer, but we didn't know what stage it was in. And I remember I was sitting in her And we both goofy, but I always messed with grandmother. Like, it was more like, I always was teasing her or playing with her. And they came in the room, and I was laying in her hospital bed. She like, Raven, they probably like, why you in my hospital bed? But I'm like, you sitting in your chair, I'm laying in the hospital bed. And they came in there, and they was telling us the news. And they was like, you have stomach cancer. And then I think they was like, it's stage 4. And I broke down. I couldn't hold myself together at all. Like, I had ran to the bathroom. It was like tears was just flowing and flowing and flowing. But it was like that whole time, she just took it like a G. I'm like, I don't know how she could.
Yeah.
But it was just like, she took it. And they probably like, snot coming out my nose, everything. Because our family is really family oriented. Like, it's small, but it's like, we don't play about that. My family is loving. We got stuff we got to work on, but it's like we not drama oriented, none of that. Like, it's literally one band, one sound with my family. So it's kind of like, just to hear that, and it's being so unexpected. And we never really had nothing like that happen in our family. So it was so unexpected. And then, was you in the hospital for like?
It had only be like a month. I'm so serious, because that was the day of my 30th birthday party that they found out that she had cancer. They thought she had the C word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but nobody would tell me. They wouldn't tell me at the party. They was like, oh, she's just sick. She's in the hospital.
Because it was at the community center that year.
No, we did at my house. It was like we had just moved in that May, and then Mike had a dinner for me at the house.
I forgot all about that, yeah.
So she was only there for like a month, because that was on June 16th was when she was admitted to the hospital the first time.
June? Oh, yeah, because then July. Yeah, she was only there for a month and a couple of days. She did come home.
Yeah.
She was ready to fight it. And I remember my mom, like, everybody was taking different days, taking care of her. And of course, I had the most availability because I didn't have a job. But I was there taking care of her. And it was just different to see your grandmother like that. Like, she needed me. Like, I remember she went to the bathroom and she was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm like,
ready for what?
You ready for what? She like, go ahead, wipe me. I'm like, woo, grandmother.
Right.
I wouldn't do this for nobody else. I did not have a stomach for it. She would be throwing up. I have a weak stomach. But I really feel like during that time, God gave me strength, because I really don't know how I did it. Because I'm like, I do not have the stomach for that. But when you love somebody, it's just kind of like, you ain't had no choice.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, I don't know, we can tell you how you got the call, but I remember, I think I was asleep. My mama she called me. She was like, they said they can't do nothing else. And I'm like, what you mean? Like,
what you
mean they can't do nothing else?
Yeah. It's okay.
And it was
yeah.
It was hard to get that call, just like she just got diagnosed. What you mean?
Literally what you mean.
She ain't even get to do her first chemotherapy. You telling me it ain't nothing else they can do? Woo, y'all. I do not like crying on camera. I don't like crying in front of people. But that was hard.
It was really hard. So I got the phone call in the middle of the night from my mom, and she was like, yeah, there's nothing else that they can do. They're asking everybody to come to the hospital. And I'm like, I was like, right now? She's like, no. Like, she's like, I'm sure she got, a little bit more time. They can, they're just having everybody come to the hospital. And I'm like, all right. So, I felt, I was sad too. Like, I was pregnant at the time with my youngest daughter, and I'm just on the edge of the bed crying. I think it was like 5:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night.
It was literally in the middle of the night, 5:00 in the morning. I'm bawling. Yeah, it was very, very hard to hear that messaging. But just like you say, grandmother was, she always wanted us to be ourselves and do the things that we love to do. Like, I still went to work that day. I had a really big presentation that I was doing for the whole group.
That.
And I was like, you think I can go do that and then come? And my mom was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's fine. And so I went to work, did that presentation, killed it, by the way. And then immediately went to the hospital. And I don't think I could have timed it any more perfect to get there and be with all the family and, be there when she passed. And it was I don't think I ever seen our family that broken before. Since great granny, actually.
Yeah.
And we were too young.
Yeah. To really, great granny, we was just kind of like.
Yeah.
I remember crying, but it was kind of, and great granny died. It was like a natural cause. And great granny was what, 80 something?
Yeah, she was like, I thought she was like 84. And Mabel, if you see this, I'm sorry, but I think she was 84. We know she was in her 80s. Like yes, hers was of natural causes, but like, and she died at home.
Yeah.
Like she had come from the hospital like a couple days before that. And, she like passed away at home. So like, I remember being in college when that happened. So, it hit different, but it had been since 2009.
Yeah.
Since we really like experienced someone like close knit in the family. Like we had an uncle that died before that. We had a, step aunt that died before that, but other than that, like grandmother was the one that shook our family up so bad since great granny died.
Yeah, she shook it up. But it was like, y'all gotta see me crying here. Still a thug, but yeah, it was a lot on our family. I remember I had left because my mom was about to wash her up. Went to the store real quick.
Wasn't y'all going to get soap or something?
Soap, yeah. Just so she can clean her up. Came back up on the elevator. All of her was screaming. I'm like, bro. Yeah. I just broke down. I feel like God knew I needed to leave, though, because if I would have seen it in the action, I probably wouldn't have been able to get that picture out of my head.
It was, like being right there, like, that was the first time I ever really saw. I don't know how deep you want to get on the podcast, girl.
It's okay. We get deep here.
But that was really the first time I ever witnessed somebody like physically pass.
Yeah.
I never witnessed it before, and it happened so fast.
Yeah, what they do? Give her some medicine and then.
I don't remember if they gave her medicine or not, but I just remember her breathing being very labored, and then all of a sudden, like a nurse came in, took her pulse, and it was gone. And I was like, that fast? Like,
yeah, because they told her what they say she had a couple weeks or something, or at least
like
a couple
days. Yeah,
we didn't even make it to hospice.
But that was just really hard to see. Like, it was really hard to see. So yeah, I wouldn't say I would necessarily switch your position, but like if I had to be gone when that happened, like to hear, you'll never get like the screams of your mom, the screams of my mom, like a Mabel, like you'll just never get that out your head, and it was really hard.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like, I ain't gonna lie, like every time her anniversary comes up, it's kind of like, I relive it.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be hard because they'd be like, you be trying to keep it together. And I realized, like, big thing that I always talk about, like, on the podcast, like, I be trying to heal, but grief,
oof. Yeah, grief.
I don't know when I'm gonna heal from this. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it ain't like I don't deal with it, but this is something that just, like, still feel like it was yesterday. Like, when June was coming around, when July was about to come, I remember I was going through so much that week. I feel like my car had broke down. Me and my little Yegi at the time, he had fatted off a little bit, and I really liked him. Then I was just dealing with it back to be July. Like, the month of July just brings a lot of stuff up. And then I was dealing with other personal stuff. And I could just feel I wasn't myself. Yeah. And I had to in that moment be like, you going through something. But it was more like grandmother. Like, I know it's about to be that time. You know, I really didn't want to deal with it. And so, like, I really didn't deal with it well. Like, I remember I kind of went back to old ways. Yeah. And I really had to apologize to somebody, the person I was dealing with at the time, because it was like, you acted kind of out of line, but I know you hurting, you know? Yeah. But it was like, because I kept it in. I really wasn't talking about it because it's just like, can't nobody do nothing. What they say? Oh, like,
I'm so sorry for your loss. Yeah. And you're like, shut up, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Yeah. Or it's like, yo, grandmother, still, but it's just like, it still hurts.
She's in a better place. Okay, yes, we understand that, but I'm still allowed to be upset. Yeah. Like, let me be upset. Just say, okay, I understand how you're feeling. Let me know if I can support you in some way. Like, be more supportive.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it ain't nothing nobody can say to make it not hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I guess we just talked about grief at the beginning. Like, I know for me, when grandmother first passed, it was kind of, I don't think I didn't believe it. It took me a minute for it to, like, register.
Yeah.
And she didn't have, like, a open casket funeral or nothing like that. Was she cremated before or no?
They hadn't, I think they were, I don't remember what happened. I just remember they couldn't cremate her before, so it was literally just her urn and the decorations and pictures that they had at the services.
So it wasn't, like, open casket or nothing, so.
And nobody, like, I think after the hospital, nobody saw her after that.
Yeah. I know I didn't. But it was like, at the funeral, I cried a little bit, but I didn't cry a lot. Mm-hmm. Grief at the beginning was just kind of like, I didn't believe it. How was it for you?
I mean, it was like that for me too. I'm more so like, I was really grieving the fact that she wasn't going to get to meet Alani. Mm-hmm. I was really grieving that fact, and, or I was trying not to say my kid's names, but it's fine. I was grieving on the fact that she was going to see her, and, just the fact that, like, it was just done. Like, I felt like we were in a position where I was just rebuilding my relationship with her. Mm-hmm. Just after, like, how we grew up, just interacting with her, I felt like I was just starting to rebuild the relationship, just starting to, like, get the kids over there, or, you know, get my son over there, get myself over there, like, get involved with her life. And I just felt like it was kind of taken away.
That's how I felt too. It was like, dang, because, you know, she called us every Sunday.
Every Sunday,
she a FaceTime. But, you know, I was still outside. I was like, hey, we outside. So
I was like, what you doing, grandmother?
Yeah, she, you know, she married, got the family, everything. But me, I was still out. I think I was probably fresh out of breakup. So I was coping with it different. But it was like, she would call every Sunday. And it was some Sundays, I knew she was calling for Raylan. I knew she was calling to talk to me, but she was calling to talk to Raylan more. Mm-hmm. And if Raylan went with me, I wouldn't answer. And I was just like, I wish I would have just answered every time. Yeah. I wish I would have went over there more. Yeah. I wish I just would have spent more time. And it was just kind of like, you don't have that time. Like, you be thinking time on your side, and really time is not on your side. And so, like, I do try to spend more time with my family and make it a priority. Because it's just like, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I wish I would have had more time. Like, I really hope she knew I loved her. I hope she knew I appreciated her. Because that was my go-to person. If something's going on with Raylan, grandmother, what do I do? And she would like, especially when she'd get a little rash, brown the flour, let it cool off, and then put it on her butt. She was a daycare teacher for a long time. And so she knew, like, a lot about kids, and she loved kids. But yeah, that's something that I dealt with at the beginning. I really didn't believe it, but then it was kind of like remorse. Like, dang, I wish I just would have spent more time.
Yeah, it was. I loved Sunday calls and hearing, "Hey, big guy," and she would call Isaiah that because he was real chunky. Like, that boy was big, and she'd be like, "Hey, big guy," and he just.
Yeah, they love it. They love that Gigi. And she's like, "Hey, pretty girl, girl." That was her name for Raylan. It would just be like. Yeah, you just wanted the relationship to be different with your kids. And I wanted her to grow up and see. I actually wanted her to grow and be here and see me get in a healthy relationship.
Right, yeah. I mean, I wanted to see her see the kids grow up. Like, she worked with the daycare kids, and I feel like, you know, obviously she spent more time with them than she was able to with, you know, with ours. So I was always like, quit your job, I pay you.
Yeah.
Quit your job, I pay you. You can watch Isaiah.
You watch our kids, we'll pay you how much?
How much? Tell me how much.
I'm not going to charge y'all. Girl, you got to make a living.
Yeah.
But it just would have been like, you know, we knew she was, like, loving on you. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, and then it was like, after the first year, so, you know, the last holiday we had with her was 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then that next year went around, I don't think we did nothing on the 4th.
We didn't. I think we all split up and we just, like, avoided it all together.
Yeah, we all avoided it. But it's like holidays are even hard now.
Yeah.
Like, even when Uncle Harvey J, he pulls up in her car.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I'd be like, grandmother? I'd be like, Uncle Harvey. Hey.
You be having to snap back and say, like, oh, hold on. And it's like, oh, that's Uncle Harvey J. But it's hard. Like even this past holiday, I feel like was the best one we've had in a long time because Christmas is hard too because her birthday
is the day before.
Is Christmas Eve, and we always have breakfast brunch the day of Christmas. So it's like it's just so much. So holidays can be very hard.
Yes, they can be.
But actually, it was a couple weeks ago. We had 4th of July. I missed her, and I wish she was there because I knew she would have really enjoyed.
Yeah,
like her brother being there and seeing all the kids. Like this is our first time I really had this big of a 4th of July, but it was just like dang. Like I felt a sense of like I felt her there though. I felt a sense of comfort. Like when I felt like me about to cry, it was like, no, I'm good. I'm here.
Yeah.
Because it was like, dang, I wish we could have did this when you was here.
Yeah, because we did a lot of things in like the winter holidays together, but 4th of July, we hadn't really done a ton of things as a family. But Snapchat memories come up. And so my Snapchat memories came up of the last 4th of July we spent with her because I like took a selfie with her, took a picture of her and Isaiah and Raylan together. Like I had all those pictures, they popped up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that was the last time because like I never went to the hospital. I never went to the hospital to visit her because I was still like post COVID, and so I was worried because I work in retail, that I would give her COVID. So I was staying away from the hospital. And even when I went to her house to visit her, I was still scared because I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant. Like, I just don't want to mess anything up. I do regret not seeing her more other than 4th of July. That was literally the last time I saw her.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot being there every day. But yeah, the memories, we had good memories. I feel like, is there anything like that triggers your grief when it comes to grandmother? Like something that triggers it and makes it like, or just come out of nowhere?
I feel like it's both, honestly. So like I'll be in church on Sundays, and if there's a certain song that like, I hear that just kind of moves me or reminds me of her, then I'll cry. I don't quote me on the song, but there's a specific song that I listened to the Sunday before she passed that had me like bawling about her specifically. And if that song's played in church, I just lose it because I'm like, oh my gosh, this song is just crazy. But then sometimes it's just like, watching the kids like hit milestones that I can't call her on a Sunday and like tell her about. Yeah. Or it's Sunday comes up and, it's been almost 2 years since I've been able to get a Sunday FaceTime. Like those are the moments that does trigger grief for me because I'm like, man, like, that's something that I'm not going to get again. Yeah,
same. Thing that triggered it for me is kind of like if somebody sent me a video, like my mama sent me a video of her recording Raylan walking. I think Raylan had just started walking, and I heard her voice. I can't hear her voice because that triggers me. Or just sometimes it just happened out of nowhere. It just be like, dang, grandmother, I miss you.
Yeah.
And so it just triggers. I didn't call mom a couple of times, like, I can't do this. And then she like, just calm down. Yeah. And it's just like, but it's not fair. And that's something I always say, like, it's not fair. Like why her? And I try not to question God, but I did. Yeah. Did you question God when it happened? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was mad at him. Yeah. I'm like, why would you take my grandmother? Yeah. And all these people in the world that's doing stuff. And you take my grandmother?
Yeah, no. So I didn't get mad at God. I have not had. Lord, don't do nothing for this. I haven't had that moment where I've been like truly upset with God over that because like I talk to grandmother about the faith all the time. So like I already knew like she would text me to buy her books that were specifically about the faith, and so. I personally, like, no, I wasn't mad. I definitely was hurting, but the Lord actually was like, like, she needs to come home, and it is better for her here. So, like, you need to trust that I'm the one. And so that's, like, literally what he, like, comforted me with, was just, like, it's going to be fine. Yeah. And so it did hurt, but, like, if you think about it, like, you started off, grandmother loved God. Yeah, that was her husband. Okay, she was like, "My husband is the Lord." Okay,
grandmother. Be like, "You need a man, girl," or something like. She'd be like, "God is my husband.
He's my husband." So like, if you think about like we know she was a believer. We know she actively every single day, like, made sure to continue her heart after God. And so that is why I didn't have that perspective, because I'm like, well, she is exactly where she needs to be. Yeah. And it did hurt. Like, I'm not saying that it didn't hurt or there's always space for you to be upset with God. There's literally like, there's so much literature about that. But no, I didn't have that same thought. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna trust you, Lord, because, you know, and to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And that is what what she stood and believed on. So
yeah, my cousin is more familiar with the word. But nah, I did get to the point to where it was kind of like, okay, God, like, I know I know you did you did what was supposed to happen, you know. Yeah. But yeah, what was I about to say? I had kind of lost track. I was talking about being mad at God, but yeah, I was a little upset with him, but we talked it out, you know, figured it out. But yeah, she was big. She did not play about God, and that's what I was trying to clarify. We did not say you need a man. We would be like, girl, we'll play with her because she always had these skirts on. I'm like, girl, your skirt is too long.
Yep, too long.
What man you trying to be cute for at that church or something like that? We'll play with her like that. Because one thing about my grandma, she ain't had no problem pulling on me, and you better check her record. I had no problem.
No problem, okay.
But I don't know. I feel like we talked about like the sad parts, and of course, I feel like that comes with grief. But there's also like I found peace in it as well. As I said, like after she passed away, I mean, I didn't have a job before she passed away. But after she left, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like she was up there working stuff out for me. Yeah. Because everything started to fall in place. I'm like, is she up there room for me? She probably a guy adult every day. Hey, you check out that. Yes. You figure that out for my granddaughter or not. But I felt like she was up there working for, like, to make sure I was good. Yeah. And that gave me a peace. So I'm like, my angel was up there working for me. And I know, like, I would love for her to be here, but it was just like, I just felt the peace. I'm like, she's still up there fighting and rooting for me.
Yeah, absolutely, she is.
And that gave me the peace, and that was like one of the good things. What's some good memories that we could talk about with her?
My grandmother. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah. I think. Even her birthday dinner. Remember that birthday dinner? Just the video that Courtney posted.
Yes. Okay, so what was that, her 70th?
I think so. Everybody had came.
Yeah, everybody came, and she was so happy to see everybody. Like, even Uncle Robert and them were there. Mm-hmm, like, everybody came. I don't think I had seen, not even that many folks show up to breakfast. Okay? Yes, 7 of us at the breakfast, kicking it. And I was at every other breakfast, regretting every other breakfast after she passed. So, I mean, okay, so my favorite memory with grandmother is honestly like with Isaiah, because, you know, Isaiah was her, in my opinion, first great grandchild. But he's the second because Halo. Oh. So he's technically the first. But no, watching her interact with him and getting to see like her personality with a younger child like was really special for me. And I do wish I would have got it recorded more often, but like just the love and joy that she shares for like little ones, and like how, you know, she'd be like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you have such a beautiful baby. Like, she just was so encouraging. Like, those are my favorite moments with her. Or just her laugh.
Oh, yeah, her laugh.
Oh, my gosh, her laugh was so funny.
My mom was like, your laugh is like hers. I'm like, girl, no, it's not.
No, grandmother had a special laugh, okay? It was literally...
I wish I could get her recorded, because her laugh, it make everybody laugh when she laughs.
Everybody, because she'd be like, is that funny? She'd be like, yes, it is that funny. I'm sure your mom has it, because she be recording. She was your mama will record her about her purses. Her purses.
Yeah. That she needed to throw away. She always kept the purse that needed to be thrown away, like that looked like it's being dragged through the mud.
Through the mud. Put it away. We'll put our coins together. Get you
Mabel.
Her and Aunt Mabel.
That's a sister thing. That's her sister. But I could say the same. I just remember, because Raylan's birthday was 2020. Her first birthday was April 2021. Then a couple of months later, we had found out. Mm-hmm. But it was just like something when she was at Raylan's first birthday party. And y'all know me, I had to do a bid for my baby's first birthday party.
It's a big old birthday party. Isaiah got that drive-through, okay? Then we was at the park.
Hey, I spent a lot of money on that birthday party. I probably won't do it again though. But maybe we should get older. But it was like grandmother was just like so attentive, and she was just coming to get me like, come take pictures of us. And she had her cane, so like she had knee problems too, so she couldn't walk around for that long. Her knees would start hurting, and she literally trying to keep up with Raylan. Literally just trying to keep up with. I'm like, grandmother, if you don't sit down.
Sit down somewhere.
Raylan went outside. She outside. Like she just. I could just tell, like, she just cherished her great-grandchildren. And I know she cherished us, but her kids she was still younger when my mama and my auntie, Aunt Nikki, had her. And so it was just like, now it's like she really gets to be more hands-on with the kids. And, like, she just really wanted a relationship with them and with us and just cherished them. Or even just, it was just times, like, I really love, like, even though, like, she accepted me for me. Like, it was like, she would call me and be like, I know you're going through this, and I know this and that. Because it was a period of time where I had just kind of, like, backed off from the family because I was going through whatever I was going through. And she was just kind of like, I'm still praying for you. Like, she was not playing like, you on my prayer board. She had everybody on there that needed to be on there that had anything to do with my life. She was just like, I'm on your prayer board. Like, she never really gave up on me. And it was kind of like, I did feel like when I first found to tell the family I was pregnant, I did feel like, you the motherfucker that's kind of fucking it up because, I did it all wrong. And I'm not going to say I did it all. I feel like I didn't do it the way we was raised.
The way that they were trying to make us do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, like, of course, I got my cousin here. She get married. She got the husband, And then here I come with the baby daddy. And it was like, I feel like I had did it all wrong. And then she was just so big on God. And I was kind of embarrassed about it. But I wasn't embarrassed because I was confident. I walked in there like, yep, I did it. But it was kind of like, I don't know, that was something that she was still like, I'm human too. Like, she had called me one day and we had went to Big Breakfast, her Big Biscuit. And she was just like, I done been through stuff too. Like, I understand. Like, you can talk to me about that stuff. Because I wouldn't. It was just like, I'm going to just go through it. I'm not going to tell y'all because my family has the idea, image of who I am. Yes.
But I think about it though, like, if we really, like, go back into our family history, for all of them, grandmother included, like, I love y'all family, but how many of them did it the quote unquote right way?
Yeah.
They didn't. Yeah. And that's nothing to be ashamed of necessarily because we're all human and we're able to make mistakes. And so, grandmother was in a certain stage of her life where she, could have a heart after God. We can all have a heart after God at any age. But like in her age, she was like, I'm gonna have a heart after God. I did all my mistakes and things like that. And so I'm just truly living for him. And so at her age, she could have been in the very same situation that she was in. Yeah. So like, I think that's where her most like understanding came from. Is like, yeah, just because I'm in the word and in the church and doing all those things every single day, that doesn't mean that I don't understand because I'm not gonna say that I never did it.
Yeah. And that's what she was trying to explain to me, like, girl, you can get your I did this stuff. I'm like, grandmother, I ain't gonna put her business out there. I'm like, girl, you
we ain't gonna put her business out there.
You did that?
Yeah.
Girl, we do got something in common, actually.
I bet you if we sat down with all of our family members, I had a real conversation.
Because my family be trying to play perfect.
Look, I
get the stutter.
I'm the oldest cousin, okay? So I felt like I had a lot more pressure to like do it the right way, to be the example. That's all I ever heard was like, do it the right way, be the example, things like that. And so then, yes, just so happens that is what happened. But, I did stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before the stage. That's not what this episode is about.
Let's talk about it.
No.
But yeah, no, I eventually got over it. It was just kind of like, I was going through my own stuff. So I was just beating myself up. But now I did what I did. I got a beautiful baby girl.
And we love Miss Braylon.
Hello. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Hello.
Right.
But what's something you feel like you got from grandmother? You feel like it's something that she taught you that you want to carry on
forever? Actually, so this actually goes back to when great granny passed. So Granny passed away, and I was really sad about it. And I just remember being on my dorm room floor, just like crying about it so hard. Like it was probably a week post the funeral, and I just called grandmother and I was like, "Hey, grandmother, like I, really want to start getting into my word. I really want to start reading more. Like, where should I start?" And she was like, "You should start in Proverbs." She's like, "Proverbs is probably," she didn't call it the easiest place in the Bible to start, but she said it was like the easiest to digest and easiest to interpret. So she was like, literally start in Proverbs 1 and just read all the way through. Now, sadly, I ain't read all of the Proverbs yet, but I have read, I have like cherry picked like through some chapters that like pertain to me or like that I see in a devotional or a Bible study. But like, I do remember that day going through like Proverbs 1, the next day Proverbs 2, the next day Proverbs 3, and then y'all know the story if y'all ever tried to pick up y'all Bible and read it.
That mug is big. So I didn't even started on Proverbs, so at least you started.
Yeah, so she said start in Proverbs, and like that is what I would take with me is that like you just need to start. Like that's what she said. She's like Proverbs is the easiest place to start, but like really just start wherever you feel comfortable. So like I do have a Bible that great granny did give to me, and so it's a very tiny Bible, and I would just like highlight verses in there. That when I would read, I would be like, oh, I really like this. So like, I really took that from grandmother. Like, there's not a bad place to start in the Bible, but like, here's a place to start. And so, I feel like I picked that up from her, but then I also feel like I picked up from her, like how to always like mend relationships and how to forgive people.
Yeah.
Because, not getting too personal on the podcast, but, I did witness like the relationship between her and my mom. And just like how much healing that took, just even up until she passed. And so I really learned that from her. It's just like how to make sure that you forgive and repair relationships no matter what or how long it's been. So yeah, those are the things I learned from her.
And then I was gonna say her favorite scripture, trust in the Lord with all thy heart.
And lean not on thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
Hello. I got a journal with this.
I believe that's Philippians 4, 5, and 6.
That's correct. You know better than me.
If it's wrong, I'm gonna put the edited version in the comments. I'm gonna put the Proverbs in the comments.
This is actually where this scripture is at. Yeah, I don't know. I just know.
Yeah, I think it's Philippians 4, 5 through 6.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What I learned, her faith. I seen it when she was sick. Her faith through it, when she was going through it, because I feel like I was one of the closest ones. It was impeccable. Like I seen her struggle, but it was like she still had faith. Like I never even seen her break down or cry. Mm-hmm. Like she was just like, if this is what God, like it literally, like I feel like she was just like, if this is what God is trying to do, like then I'm gonna go along with what God, is trying to do. Yeah. But it was like, dang, like she had a different faith. Because I probably would have been in shambles.
Yeah.
And then like her heart, my mom always say like, you got your grandmother's heart. You just love too hard and you're just so too nice. And I feel like that's something that I really got from hers, because it's just like, I feel like she be wanting to see the good in people. Mm-hmm. And so I be wanting to do the same thing. Like I be wanting to understand. Mm-hmm. And I feel like grandmother wasn't confrontational. I don't feel like none of us are, for real. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I get that from her. But more, I'm starting to be more confrontational, not in a bad way, just in a way where I'm saying what I'm speaking up for myself. To where it's like, if we gotta have a hard conversation, then we need to have a hard conversation. Mm-hmm. And then I was gonna say her heart, and I was about to say something else. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I had said something else, but I lost it. What are some tools? I want to, at least, because we're coming towards the end, what are some tools that you use when grief is coming up?
Truly, what I use is, I would say I just cry. I do cry a lot. Mm-hmm. If grief comes up. I try to start there. Mm-hmm. And then I try to surround myself around family. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm too sad. Like, what y'all doing on Saturday? Y'all want to hang out? Like, what y'all want to do? So that I can kind of pull myself out of it, because I think at the end of the day, like, trying to deal with grief alone is fine, but dealing with grief with other people and kind of keeping your mind off of it is almost better. And so I know myself, like, I know on days that I can, like, deal with the grief and deal with it straight through, or the days that I really can't deal with it straight through and I need other people. And so I might not necessarily say it when I'm with people. I might not say, hey, I'm grieving this. It's just like, I just hang out and then I feel better all of a sudden. So I would say those are the tools that I use now. And then, I wouldn't say my kids, like, I feel like sometimes I can't be sad for them. Like, if you know, they see me crying, they come up, oh, mommy, you so sad. Yeah. You sad, mommy? And I'm like, no, like, okay, let's go play with your toys or something.
Because man, he said, sad. Like, girl, yeah. Raylan be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. Now, if you would ask me this, like, 10 years ago, like when my granny died, I did not handle that well. Grief was, you know, all which way things that we ain't gonna mention on the podcast, but I'm just saying it wasn't healthy. Okay, yeah. Be healthy when you grieve.
Yeah, and I can talk about the unhealthy part, but I do like family is one thing too. Mm-hmm. Like I would be like, all right, let me go on roaming over A Maple House. Everybody in our family know. Going over A Maple House probably go on Sundays because everybody gonna be there. So I'll be like, okay, we going to Kansas today and we better go chill with A Maple and them. Yeah. Probably see if she cooked and we're just gonna chill because it's just genuine love.
All the time.
And then it's even like that with my friends. Being around my friends, it gives that feeling. And then some things that I didn't do so well, like drinking. Like I'm not an alcoholic. Yeah. But like it'll just be like, oh, let me just go get a glass of wine. Because it'll just calm me down, yeah. And so, or I just entertain situations that's not the healthiest because I wanted to feel loved. Yeah. At that time, and so getting up under the wrong people, just to get that feeling, because I was grieving, I really didn't want to talk about it, but I still wanted to feel love. So. But the tools that I usually, because I didn't grow out of that part at first, I just really, because this is great granny hit me, but grandmother hit me different. Yeah. Because great granny had her whole life, and I still missed her, and I still cried, and I feel like I was younger. Yeah. I was younger. But it was like, with grandmother, it was just like, that hit home, like home, like home. Yeah. Like, I can't even remember because great granny was so long ago. Yeah.
I literally remember great granny's like it was yesterday because like that was the first death that impacted me.
Yeah. And I remember because Kimberly was calling my phone, but I was on the phone with my man, so I'm like, what are you calling me for? Yeah. Shoot. And I ended up pulling up and not seeing all the cars. I'm like, what's going on? But I'm not thinking nothing because I'm still on the phone. Yeah. And then I walked in the house and I seen her. Yeah. It was like she was so peaceful though at the same time. But and now back to grandmother. R.P. Great Granny too. We love you. Yeah, we love you, Great Granny. You too. You was the glue to held the family together too. Mm-hmm. I was saying tools. Something that I do now, I journal about it. That's something that I really try to do is like journal where I go see her. And I just sit there and I cry. And I feel like we be like trying to hold it in. We going through grief, but I'm like, just cry. Just like, cry. It's okay to cry, and I'll just cry, and then I feel better after I cry. Like even when I was just crying earlier, I feel better now. I feel better.
Yeah. Like, it is hard for me to cry in front of other people, so I'm like, okay, I'm getting teary-eyed, but I'm like, no, suck it up. I also just got off work, so I'm like, that'd be me at work. Like I'm like not still in work mode, but kind of like I'm like, okay, I can cry in front of people, but I try not to, so it's kind of hard for me.
And I'm a crybaby though. I'm definitely a crybaby. But yeah, like I said, y'all, today was in honor of my grandmother. We're coming up on 2 years of her passing away, and I will forever honor her. Keep her name alive. So this won't be our last time hearing me talk about my grandmother because she was a big part of my life, and I wanted to share this experience with my cousin. Because we was her favorite grandkids. I don't care how y'all put it.
First granddaughter right here.
Who was on her screensaver? Who was on her screensaver?
I mean, it was you by default. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Pull the screensaver.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I just know I was the first one here. Okay, so I got the princess treatment.
First one, favorite one.
Okay.
But also just being on the podcast, I usually do it at the beginning, but I like to pour into my guests. And so before we end, I'm gonna make sure that I do that.
Can I pour back to you when you're done?
No, I'm saying you can.
I was like, I watched the podcast and I see this part. I'm ready.
But now you know my cousin, he's my big cousin, and I feel like you are really a good example. So if you ever think that you're not, you are.
Thanks.
You definitely you did it right. But you always there for us. Even with me, like you would just call. Like I know I'm not that good at calling, but you would FaceTime, check in, like you just always there, and you not judgmental. Like my cousin goes to church every Sunday. She ain't missing a beat. She don't play about her relationship with God, and I have a different relationship with God, and I have my relationship, but I'm not in a church home. Like I don't really know the Bible. My relationship is just different with God. But it's like when I tell her stuff, she don't judge me.
Nope.
If I need her, she there. You know, it's never a time where I had to like second guess you. You know, and it's just like you a good big cousin. Like, and I feel like it's not like one sided when it comes to us. Like if you need me, you there, and I want you to know that if you need me, I'm there. I ain't got as much experience under my belt. I done been through a little time, but
don't matter.
And it's just like. I don't know, you showed me the type of relationship that I want to have with God because it's like, you human though when it comes to it, like, and it's like, or the type of person I want to be because it's like, you don't judge, you know? Like, you let people be who they are.
Yep.
And you like, you know, and a lot of people, you know, growing up in the church we grew up in, that really wasn't something we saw. It was like, they scold you if you do something like the wrong thing
wrong, wear your skirt too short, wear your no pantyhose.
And so that's kind of probably like what made me kind of like not do the church right now because I got to heal from some of that stuff. But it's just like you were like the type of person or type of people that I would want to be in church with because you was like, I'm imperfect. I still got a lot of work that I need to work on myself, but at least I feel comfortable here, and I feel comfortable coming to you, talking to you about God, talking to you about stuff that ain't so godly. You know, and I just appreciate you. You're a great mom, great wife, all of that.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And my girl owned a home. She got her a home.
I do.
Like she set the bar high, so it's just kind of like in a good way. So like you doing it good. You doing it good as a big cousin.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously. Okay, my turn. Yeah. My turn. Okay, so like she said, I am the big cousin. However, like I did have a lot of pressure, I feel like, to be like the perfect example. But I honestly, like for you specifically, like I admire like your drive and like your inability to give up on your dreams, like period. Like you won't give up on them at all. Like I remember you telling me about the podcast and to see how it's flourished over, has it been a year? Over a year?
Yeah, I took a break, then I came back. So.
You took a break, then you came back. And I called you about that. I was like, Raven?
Yeah, you did. Like, and that's what they support the podcast. Her that's our cousin. And her husband, our cousin.
Yes.
Cause he was like, yeah, we watching it. And y'all know I used to cuss like a sailor when I first started.
She did.
And they was still supporting.
Yeah,
like,
we still support it. So like, I remember when you called about the podcast, I remember calling you and being like, so like you have not posted in a while. Like, when am I gonna get some more content from you? Like, so I just don't ever want you to give up on your dreams and like keep having that same drive because like I actually look up to you for that. Like while I might have had like, you know, things like I have things laid out a certain way, like there are still parts of me that I do like look up to you on because I'm like, I want to be able to go after my dreams in a different way that does not just involve being in corporate America. Like I want to do things that are on the side. Like I got dreams, I got hopes, but I feel like I don't have the drive sometimes to go do those because I'm too scared. And I've never seen you be scared of nothing. Like you ain't scared of nothing, okay? Like you like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do this, like no matter what. So I look up to you for that, but I also think like you're a great mom. Like you're so supportive of me and Mike and the kids. Like even like you might not have experience, but it doesn't matter. Like we're still like we're moms, we're cousins, we in this together, and I don't ever feel like we're not equal because we are equal. Like I feel like we're on the same playing field, just in different fields. Like we're just in different fields. Yeah. So I really appreciate you, and I really want you to continue to go after what it is that you want. Thank you. Know that nobody can take your joy, nobody can take your drive, and nobody can take who you are. Period. Like they just can't. So don't let them. Like at the end of the day, if y'all a hater and you listen to the podcast, keep listening, because guess what? The subscription numbers is up, the listening views is up. You ain't doing nothing but helping our business. So
speak, say it loud for the people in the back.
You ain't doing nothing but helping her business. So you keep doing you, seriously, and don't let nobody ever take you down. You know you always got me in your corner, no matter what, and just keep focusing, keep on working.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, because you talk about you don't be scared. God be scared of me. But I was just real quick. I was saying, like, I feel like that's something that's in our family, though. Like, you know how sometimes it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been praying to God that I'm like, Drake, break this up off our family.
Break it off.
I know this is something that that started here, but it's finishing here.
It's finishing
here. It's stopping here, and everybody gonna feel like they can do it, because it's like it's like I feel like, because I'm doing it, but it's still a part of me mind that I'll be speaking to myself, and it's just beliefs, and it's just, I can just tell, like, it's ancestral.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's a generational thing. It's like, okay, I gotta break this up.
Yeah.
Break this up off my family, because we all got dreams. Like, we the ones that kind of first started dreaming. Like, even with Strangé with her
juice business. Yeah. Camry with her YouTube channel.
Yeah, so it's like and don't worry about it. We about to break this up off our family.
I know.
If we don't do nothing else, we gonna break. If I gotta start it.
You started, because we gonna fall in line. You, Strangé, Camry, like, y'all doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hop out there and do mine too. But
it's coming. It's coming. Don't sleep on us.
Don't sleep on us at all.
Our family created a good foundation up for us to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Sit here and do this. So
absolutely,
I appreciate them for doing what they did for us to be able to get here. But yeah. One thing, we ain't did our cousin stuff, so we need to at least do one more event before the end of the summer.
We do.
Camry and Strangé, if you're watching this, y'all better be watching this. Y'all need to. We need to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
We need to at least do one more cousin event.
One more thing.
Before the end of the summer. And then figure out our winter activities.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I appreciate you for being here. This flowed very well.
It did. I was kind of nervous.
You was a natural.
Okay. I know.
But just to end off the podcast, y'all know I'm always say subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on Apple. And leave a review. If you comment on my YouTube podcast, it pushes it out to more people. When somebody commented on my last video, I think it was, and they was like, "This is a video. I seen this video as a recommended video, and I came here and they commented like, I'm here from the start. I'm your 69th subscriber. So we getting traction.
Building.
Like, and just keep supporting, because I appreciate y'all. My new slogan at the end is, be rare, be authentic, be you. And thank y'all for always tuning in. Bye.
Bye.